feel like kids grow up too fast these days, and kids need to just be kids. They don't need to be involved in political issues and other kinds of issues. Let them be kids and be innocent, and that's what I love about kids is they have like that innocence that, when we grow up, people get jaded and people forget about their moral compass and their family values. So that's my mission in life, is to keep that, not just for kids. I always say for kids of all ages, and just to to have that be like a remembrance for for adults, like, oh yeah, I forgot about that value or that moral message. So
going back to the group that you were in.
Yeah.
So when you were in the group to now that you're Twinkle, at what point did you decide that you wanted to maintain and just, do music for kids?
It was after I finished doing Nobody's Angel. I did that for a long time, and once we got dropped from our label, I started teaching kids. I was teaching singing, dancing, musical theater all over SoCal, where I'm from, Los Angeles, and I actually fell in love with teaching. I never wanted to be a teacher because my parents are teachers, but I loved it. And what I learned from being a teacher was a lot of the music that I was playing in my classes, for especially the little ones, was music we all grew up listening to, or music that I was just like, I don't know if I want to have to play this again. And so I was like, not only do the kids have to listen to the music, but parents, the adults, have to listen to it over and over, especially when you're riding around in the car with your little ones. So I was like, I felt like there was a void for music that I love. So I wanted to incorporate music that I love and that I'm passionate about, my influences, which is everything from pop music to country rock to like just a little bit of everything, and kind of mesh that all together and write songs that have a message. So that's when I started doing that almost like 8 years ago. And it's been a really hard road, but it's been amazing, and it's kind of amazing to watch it grow year after year and just kind of see where it takes you. It's been a colorful journey.
So the album that you have that's going to be out in October,
yes,
Just Dance. So you mentioned that it's a little bit edgier than the other ones.
Yeah.
How would you describe like the difference between the others you've had and the edgy?
I feel like a lot of not so much the topics because it's all message related, but like my first album, I had a song called Cleaning Machine, or songs like Rise and Shine, which are very much geared towards like the little itty bitty ones.
Yeah.
And, but the music was always pop. And, so this time around, like my second album, I kind of grew it up just a little bit, and I had a song called Love, which everybody to this day still loves that song because it's more, it obviously the message is love and spreading love all over the world, but basically the sound is like a song that you would hear on mainstream radio. And so I was just like, okay, I want to do more songs like that. So I do have songs that still teach. Like I have a song called Twinkle, which is a country rock song that is teaching math to little ones, but in a country rock kind of format.
Yeah.
But a lot of my songs like Kids Rock or Just Dance or Better Than You Know is just like still a cool message, but songs that you would hear like on mainstream radio.
I was listening to an album, and I really like it a lot because every song has a message.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a message, they're teaching you about something.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it, and I found myself listening to the song over and over. Yes. And I thought to myself, I thought, you know what? This is something like if my kids were like you're super young,
yeah,
I would definitely play this for them because it's so happy. Like your music is really, really happy, and especially listening to Just Dance and also the other song, the remix.
Oh, Kids Rock.
Kids Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was listening to that, it's like, you know what? The Kids Rock is the type of song that I would envision you play at the end when you're closing your show.
That's exactly where it's at.
Are you serious?
Yes. It's my closer, and I love it. When I thought about that song, I wanted kids to have an anthem. So it's like an anthemic song for the kids.
Yeah.
Because, we have other anthems, as we're adults or whatever, but kids need their own anthem. And so I think it's like a perfect song. I always end with that song. So that's funny that you placed it there because I always end with that song.
It's a great song, and I could picture, like the kids, the moms, they're all dancing.
Yeah.
When you're performing.
It's such a hot song. Like, actually, on the album, there's two versions. There's the original kids rock version and the remix. And the reason I call it the remix is DJ Dallas and I write all the music, and and when we originally wrote that song, we're like, yeah, this is a hot song. We brought in our friend Mr. Cookie Jar, who is also a kindie artist himself. Yeah. And so we collaborated on this song. We were really proud. We were like high-fiving each other. And then at that moment, I decided to call my management from my girl group days and see if he wanted to come on board and help with this process. Because he originally, when I first started Twinkle Time, he didn't he said no because he says it's going to be a lot of work, and you need to kind of learn what it's like to kind of build something, which I'm so glad he did. But he came on board and he loved the song. He's like, I'm going to send this to our mutual friend Matthew Gerard, who is this huge record producer, produced for Kelly Clarkson and wrote a lot of Miley Cyrus songs and wrote the theme song to Hannah Montana and all the High School Musicals. He sent it to him, and Matthew was like, I love this song. And I worked with him because he produced on Nobody's Angel. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I love this song. And he's like, but I'm going to turn it into a hit. And he said those words exactly. And so he literally made it the remix version as you hear. And it's just funny because it's almost same lyrics. What's very different is the hook. The chorus is very different on the original and the remix version. But it's like so cool because you can still jam out to both, but you kind of see the audience gets to hear like how a song is like originated, and when somebody like Matthew Gerard comes in the picture where he takes it too. So it's pretty cool.
You know what? Let's play the
Kids
remix.
Rock?
Yeah. Do you want to
Okay.
introduce it?
Sure. Okay, so everybody, you guys are listening to Kids Rock, the remix version.
Cookie and Twinkle, like cookies and sprinkles.
They can never rock it like us, cause we the original. So get them hands up, everybody clap. I'm pulling up with my crew, we got them speakers that bump. You know what we came to do is get this party to jump. My swag is funky and cool as we don't ever stop. Take it to the top. My fabulous hairdo, you know it's starting to pop. I'm rocking these tutus, my fashion's over the top. I'm blowing up like balloons with every beat that drops, drops, drops. Let's show the world. Kids rock! Everybody on your feet, move your body to the beat, beat, beat. Let's show the world. Kids rock! Gonna have a good time, shake it, wiggle your behind. Yeah, you know it, yeah, you know it. Kids rock! Oh, 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 oh. Kids rock! Oh, 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 oh. You know this sound is epic. Let's start our own clique. Let's travel around the world, cause you know we can rock this. My DJ's ready to play. He spins some beats every day. We do what we meant to do. We do it our way. We don't make no excuse. We came here to entertain. Oh, West Coast girls. We got them bounce houses bouncing. The beats that are pounding. We make it happen. Now everyone shout it. Kids rock! Everybody on your feet. Move your body to the beat, beat, beat. Let's show the world. Kids rock! Gonna have a good time. Shake it, wiggle your behind. Yeah, you know it, yeah, you know it. Kids rock! Oh, 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 oh. Kids rock! Oh, 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 oh.
Smells like kid spirit, something kinda like a big rainbow. Fresh cut grass, mac and cheese, laundry, and an itty bitty whip of the Play-Doh. You a big ball of energy, kinda like a flame. Nicknames also con fuego. Tasmanian devil with the halo. Spinning up an itty bitty tornado. They amo cookie, got sprinkles. I do it big for kids and the twinkles in their eyes. I do it for smiles, following your heart's a lifestyle. Love is what I got, is my passion. All up in my songs and my fashion. What is life without any laughing? Beat kicking in, it's time for dancing.
Everybody on your feet, move your body to the beat, beat, beat. Let's show the world. Kids rock! Gonna have a good time, shake it, wiggle your behind. Yeah, you know it, yeah, you know it. Kids rock!
That's Kids Rock, Twinkle. You know, I want to say Twinkle Time.
It's okay. People call me Twinkle Time, Twinkle. I think because my previous 2 albums, it was always under Twinkle Time. But this time I'm like, no, it's just Twinkle. You know, I dropped the time.
So what do you call your... it's like your squad. It's like your. I don't want to say. Do you call them fans or do you call them like Twinklets?
Yes. How did you know? So I call them Twinklets and Rock Stars, but with a Z. So because it's always cooler with a Z. So yeah, they're my little Twinklets and Rock Stars, and God, it's honestly, it's because of the families and the kids that have basically helped me grow. They're the ones that have helped me grow. Yeah. So I'm very thankful for my Twinklets and Rockstars.
Now, speaking of Just Dance,
yes,
you also have a Spanish album that's going to come out next April.
Yes, April 2018 is the goal, and I won't drop the ball like I did. My dream has always been to do a Spanish album, like a full Spanish album. My other 2 albums for Twinkle, what I used to do is most of the songs always had kind of like bilingual phrases in the songs, and then I would always do 1 or 2 songs that were fully in Spanish on the albums. This particular album, my Just Dance album, I was very I was very aware I didn't want to do anything bilingual or fully Spanish because I was waiting to do an all Spanish album. So I'm super excited about it. I'm Peruvian, so that's been a dream of mine. I've always wanted to do kind of like that crossover thing, like Gloria Estefan and Selena Quintanilla have always been my idols and people that influenced me in my music career. So I want to do that in the children's space.
So what can we expect in your Spanish album? Like what type of music?
Same style music. So my music is everything like EDM meets country rock meets pop, but obviously, with Spanish lyrics. I guess again, it's like people obviously would compare me a little bit to Lady Gaga or Gwen Stefani. Those are my influences. So that's kind of probably like the sound of what people might hear.
Are you going to have some songs that are in your previous albums? Are you going to translate and have them move over?
Yeah. I definitely love, as I was mentioning before, I'm going to do that in Spanish. Superhero is a favorite one of mine that I love to do in concert, and I definitely will have that, and then you'll hear some other new ones that I'm really excited about.
Have you started writing the new ones that you're going to put in the Spanish album?
Yes and no. We've worked on it and we haven't finished recording them. So that's stuff that now that we're not on tour, we'll be busy doing.
Is there? Can you give us like a hint of like maybe a taste of maybe one of them? Like what type of message will it be or lesson?
Definitely messages. I don't think I'm going to do anything that's like an actual lesson in the Spanish stuff. So like, for example, love is just a beautiful message to spread love all around the world. And then superhero is more about being confident and being brave and courageous in everything that you do. And so those are the types of messages.
I can't wait to hear the Spanish one.
It's going to be so amazing. And I have to give it up for the Latin community because it's always been the Latin community that has supported me always from day one. They've opened their doors, and I get a lot of Latin families all around the country when we perform that tell me how grateful they are for somebody like me because maybe their kids don't want to speak Spanish at home, but then when they hear me speak Spanish and sing Spanish up on stage, they're like, oh my God, now I want to learn how to speak Spanish. And I think it's important to be bilingual, not just Spanish, but in whatever language